What are we among so many? As a young Christian, my college and career pastor, he challenged me to give my first ever Bible study to a group of my peers. And I had no idea how to preach or how to teach the Bible, but I did know that a preacher, he looks at the world around him, and as he's studying his Bible, he tries his best to preach the Word of God in a context that is useful and applicable to the people that he's talking to. So when I looked around at the world back then, I considered our responsibility as college and singles to give the gospel message to the community. And as I considered that task, I was overwhelmed. I thought, what are we among so many? What are we among so many? And as I considered this dilemma, I was reminded of a similar situation in the Word of God. In John chapter 6, there's a large crowd that was gathered to hear Jesus. And as they gathered, thousands of people gathered around Jesus to hear what he had to say. And the dilemma came when they were hungry and there was no food. In this first Bible study 20 years ago, I read this passage where they said, what are these? The young man came with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And the disciples asked in unbelief the similar question that I'd asked back then. What are these? What are they among so many? And in this first Bible study, I said that in the young man's hands, it was never enough to fill the people. What the young man came with, even though it was a great lunch for him, 5 loaves, 2 fish was plenty for him, it was never enough, and it could never be enough to meet the need of the people that was there. We struggle every day to build wealth, to accumulate power, and the people around us, they're starving for spiritual food. When we wake up, and God help us to wake up and to look at the need around us, when we wake up and we see the task before us, this is going to happen. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to look at your life and you're going to say, what am I among so many? I have this task to feed, to teach, to encourage people in spiritual truth. But what am I among so many? And let us remember that our lives in Jesus' hands can be used to feed many who are spiritually hungry. So what are we among so many? We should ask the question, what are we in Jesus' hands? And let us commit ourselves, let us commit our life, our labor, our love. Let us commit that to Christ and let him use us as he sees fit.